public will have to wait a little longer for Malacanang's announcement of a top-level official and several police officers that President Rodrigo Duterte wants dismissed from government service. The palace earlier stressed that the pending dismissals are in line with the president's campaign against airing public servants. Let's find out more from Rocky Ignacio.
All eyes in today's first press briefing in Malacanang for this year, waiting for the official announcement about the latest high government official terminated by President Rodrigo Duterte. But presidential spokesperson Harry Roque said he was instructed to defer the said announcement.
So although I was directed to announce as early as January 30, the instruction was to announce in our next press briefing, which is today. But of course, at the beginning of the day, I was asked to defer with the said announcement.
The palace official said that the president was still checking some legal documents. Roque accidentally mentioned that the president dismissed a male government official. But Roque admitted he was not from the Philippine Charity Sweepstakes Office and from the Energy Regulatory Commission or ERC.
Well, it was legal basis, yes. This was not coming from the president, but coming from PMS. This explanation, all that I received was to hold in abeyance, but when I inquired from PMS, what they said was they gave the president a copy of the legislative charter of the agency headed by the officer, no? And the president was reviewing the legislative charter of that agency.
President Duterte earlier said that he will review travels of all presidential appointees as part of the administration's fight against corruption. Aside from his appointees, the president directed his spokesperson to announce the names of all dismissed policemen allegedly involved in illegal drugs and corruption.
We're just observing due process because they're not all presidential appointees, no? So we have to comply also with the PNP law. Okay. So we're in the process of completing with all requirements before we make the announcement of who they are.
At the same time, President Duterte renewed his directive to his cabinet now to allow government transactions to or for any of his family and relatives.
The president would like to reiterate his prior instruction to the cabinet to ignore any pleas to be made by any of his relatives in connection with any government transaction. The president is renewing his call that any and all of his relatives are not authorized, okay, to approach anyone in government in connection with any government-related transaction, full stop. That applies to his children, his siblings, his cousins, his uncles, and aunts. No one in his family is authorized by him to have any financial interest in any government office, agency, or department.
Rocky Ignacio for The Nation.